A Chicago cop by the name of Jeffrey Kriv, he's now retired. Now, he's only pled guilty to a single count of theft, but they know for a fact that he was guilty of many more crimes. And because of all the court documentation, the state's attorney for the Chicago area is having to drop prosecutions because this now former cop, was going to have to testify in the court cases, and he is not considered reliable because of how much he didn't tell the truth about. Basically, he out and out lied. Now, I'm going to read to you some things from something called CWB Chicago. Um, Not 100% certain. They look like they cover Chicago law enforcement news because it gives a far clearer picture of what Kriv did. And then I'm going to cover something from ProPublica because they did some research in a, oh, I can tell a story. And it's kind of confusing, but I'm going to break down what ProPublica found. It's kind of disturbing. It really is to think that this is happening in any city across America, town, village, whatever, county. That's disturbing. It is a disturbing story. Um, so if you want to know what's going on with government, state, local, or federal, hey, I'm going to cover it. I'm not going to cover a bunch of stuff anymore. I've covered some stuff, and once in a while, I might cover something that is of value. But I'm going to try to stick primarily with government stuff. Hit like and subscribe because it will really help me out. Now, let's get into this weird story. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Okay, from CWB, Chicago, a retired Chicago police officer accused of repeatedly filing false auto theft reports to avoid paying traffic fines has pleaded guilty and will serve probation according to court records. Jeffrey Kriv, 56, pleaded guilty to single count of theft before Judge Jennifer Coleman last week. In exchange, prosecutors dropped 8 other felony counts, including multiple counts of perjury. Coleman ordered Kriv to pay $4,500 in restitution as part of the deal. Kriv, who retired from the department in January 2023, was accused of falsely reporting that his girlfriend had stolen his personal car on 44 separate occasions since 2009 to beat parking and automated traffic tickets. Prosecutors said he claimed during administrative hearings that his girlfriend had taken the vehicle each time the citations were issued. Officials alleged he submitted nearly identical false police reports to support his claims, which result in the dismissal of dozens of tickets. Yeah. In January 2023, prosecutors said Kriv avoided paying at least $3,665 in fines by making the false claims, including 4 cases in which he allegedly dodged $330 in fines. In another instance, investigators said Kriv presented what he called a duplicate ticket to challenge a fine against his BMW, but they later determined the document was an altered ticket he had personally issued to another driver on a different date. A review of city records by CWB Chicago found Kriv won dismissals for 70 tickets since 2009 while paying just 10. The dismissed citations range from red light and speed camera violations to parking infractions, including one for parking in a police-only zone. Kriv joined the CPD in 96 and last worked in the near West 12th District. In 2021, records show he earned more than $145,000 in base salary and overtime and was recognized as one of the state's top DUI enforcers, making 114 arrests that year. When the charges were initially filed, Kriv's attorney Tim Grace highlighted his record of 175 commendations and honorable mentions, calling the allegations against him interesting. Kriv was stripped of his police powers in January 2023 after the Office of Inspector General received a complaint that led to the ticket investigation. He retired days later. Uh, City surveillance camera footage showed many of the violations that Krebs successfully contested, like this leisurely left-hand turn. Okay, it's got a video there. Um, they've got videos of this, but now, according to ProPublica analysis of court and police records has found that prosecutors have dropped at least 92 traffic and criminal cases that were based on arrests Krebs made and tickets he wrote. Most of the cases were dismissed involved drunk and dangerous driving. Defense attorneys in these cases have cited Krebs' personal perjury case and his credibility issue. Um, Addressing the fallout from Krebs' first perjury case on other court cases built on his policing, the state's attorney's office said it dropped pending cases against individuals who Kriv had arrested or ticketed because could not proceed without his testimony. We could not call him as a witness due to the false statements he had previously made in order to have his own personal tickets dismissed, the office wrote in response to questions from ProPublica. One case was dismissed as recently as August. Records show prosecutors said there were no pending cases in which Cribb's testimony was needed. The state attorney's office said going forward, any claim from the individuals who have been convicted in Cribb involved cases will be carefully reviewed. There also are defendants who have not shown up in court and have warrants out for their arrest, so their cases could be called again. So I'm going to put a link to ProPublica on here because I read you most of it. I'm probably going to put link to CW Chicago as well. I'll put link to both. So y'all can review all of this information. This is wild. I constantly have people coming after me. Well, why are you wanting this to happen to cops? Why are you I'm wanting higher standards for police. If we hold cops up to a higher standard, guess what? People that want to live a life where they're held to a higher standard are going to want to be part of this. One of the reasons why you have people willing to go into the Marine Corps because they see it as something tough. They go into the military because they see it as something that they have to be held up to a higher standard. Not every case, but a lot of people do want that. This is one of those cases where a cop got knew how learned how to game the system because well he dealt with this all the time, and so he thought, hey, here's the perfect opportunity to game the system. There is no good way at looking at this. There are going to be plenty of people that are going to go, oh, you're attacking cops. I'm not attacking cops. I'm attacking a bad actor that had a badge. I am getting tired of hearing people defend bad policing. I am tired of people defending bad cops. I am tired of people going, oh, it's a dangerous job and well, they don't need they need to be held to a higher standard because these are people that put others in prison or in jail. These are people that by their actions can cause innocent people to lose their livelihoods, to lose their life. And there have been many cases where it's been found out that bad actors with the badge were responsible for many things that they should never have caused in the first place. It's about time that they get called out, and now that everybody gets to hear what's going on, these stories are able to be told. And hopefully, just hopefully, some of y'all will listen instead of going defund the police because we do need law enforcement. We need laws. We need to enforce those laws. Just hopefully y'all will start going, well, we need to hold cops to a higher standard. We need to make sure that they can understand what they're dealing with. So that means they need to be trained properly. And I had somebody pointed out from my epilepsy video, cops aren't medical professionals or they aren't, EMTs or whatever. Exactly. That's the point. They aren't medical professionals. So them making judgments that on people that are having a medical emergency, yeah, that needs to stop too. They need to be trained well enough to know when they need medical opinions instead of using their flawed opinions. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.